Good day everyone, Dr. Blob here. Since Invitation to Wine, we received new EN voices, not only for the main characters of the event, save Mr. Nothing, sadly, but also for some other operators, plus the new arrival, Golden Globe. So, while I doubt this is the second batch of English voices, I think there are enough to make another video like before. It keeps things simpler for me when there are fewer characters to analyze. A quick recap. In this video series, I analyze the new English voices and compare them with both the original Japanese and the personality of the character. I will clarify this though. I do not compare the voices in regards of how similar they sound between each other, but rather how fitting that voice is for the character to recognize the personality in their voices, regardless of how the voice sounds. With that explained, let us start. This is Top Best and Mistuned EN voices in Arknights. Second batch? Before we start, I would like to mention that this list won't be balanced. You see, as far as I'm concerned, almost all of these voices are a perfect fit to their respective characters. So while there are still some I consider to be mistuned, I couldn't find it in me to call 5 of them as such. So, we will be having one extra best and one less mistuned. This shows how much care Hypergriff is putting on this part of the game. Sadly, in my humble opinion, there is still some way to go. Hopefully, one day I will only make these videos rating the best voices with no mistune to be found. For now, let us begin with what I think are the best and not as good interpretation of our beloved operators. Starting with
I know every nook and cranny in Lungmen. The docks, the neon signs, the winding paths. I can see them all in my mind, clear as day. I'll never forget them. I've never been able to rely much on anyone. Not even...
Do you know what I thought when listening to her? Old cop movies. Like 90s action movies where one of the main characters is an nonsense officer. However, I think it is a bit too cop and little personal turmoil. It is hard to notice, but you can hear it in the other voice actress, how despite her dedication and stoic demeanor, there is something troubling her. However, once we get to Chalter, things click into place.
The events in Chernobog and my experiences in Dosiles both proved one thing. Whether fighting or saving, I must first understand my target. I need to broaden my horizons and open my eyes, Doctor.
Her tone is still strict, but you can also hear how she now trusts those around her, how her perception of the world is no longer black and white, while also leaving room for further personal development. Definitely, Amy Lennox did a great job portraying the game's second main character. Not to mention, I also feel this voice fits her face perfectly. If she's only 6 in the list, is mostly because of that little slip on Jen's voice. Had it not been the case, she would easily be higher, though not by much, as this time around the competition in this side is very, very tight, unlike the other half. However, we have one more best to go through before them, which is...
Doctor, I need a break. I'm competing in the Speedy Sleep Contest. Doctor, check this out. This isn't my normal wand, it's a pendulum. You're feeling very sleepy and will nap in 5 minutes without giving me any work.
At first I thought Durin and Myrtle shared voice actress. That was not the case. In fact, she shares voice with Amiya. Where was this effort in the guard form? Anyway, if I have to guess, I will say Emma Belantin took a page from Myrtle's book and tried to make her voice as iconic as possible. When I hear her, not only do I see Durin talking, I also feel sleepy, so that's some voice chops right there. Thus, she sleepwalks right into the 5th place of this list.
Being able to use natural language logic really has improved communication so much when helping out my masters. Everyone in Pinus Sylvestris is incredibly hardworking, always putting meals off so they can train their knightly skills. There has to be a day where their bodies won't keep up. None of them have time to fetch their lunchboxes, so it's all up to Justice Knight to bring them over.
Not bad, as every other voice in this list, but if I must be too raw, I will say some of Justice Knight's enthusiasm is missing. There is some, but nowhere near the levels heard in her other voices. If anything, I will say Inamari Smith went a bit too hard on the robot part. Nothing more to say here, but someone had to open this list. Just so happens that the Casimir's Knights can catch a break with me. At least she spells Yvonne's name properly.
I'm awake, Doctor. I'm not like I was then. It's not that easy to sleep even if I want to. So where do you need me? Any field missions? Maybe instructing the reserve ops? We all came out of that fight in Rimbilaton a bit more grown up, but it'd be nice if getting better didn't come with a cost, you know? There's no place you can escape to, and no dreams you don't wake up from.
We know there is a whole mystery regarding A1's future, and while we still lack answers, we know it can have left the members unscathed. I mention this because I can feel the regret and growth Cruz went through after said events. She's still positive and happy-go-lucky, but the laziness and carefree attitude is completely gone now. So while I have nothing more than questions regarding A1, I am very glad to say this is a wonderful voice work. And while she lost a spot last time, Grace Hawk Robinson clearly deserves the 4th place in this list.
Poetry, speech, lyric, essay. Though they all differ as their own, they are common in places. A pity that people of now are, by and large, unable to exercise patience, to listen to a song, to read a poem. I take no objection to it, but how must our present scholars suffer? Nyan is too impetuous, Dusk timid, yet to see the two as they are now, it seems they already know what they like and want to do. So why probe at veracity or falsity or object or subject? To bicker and squabble every day, knowing emotion's gamut, is that not what a person is?
Very poetic and wise sounding, but no honest and power to be felt. One of Link's traits is how she is like a cool elder sister to everyone. Not doting like Savage, neither motherly like Kejera, JP1, but a wise sister you turn to figure things out or to spend a good time with. However, that part was hard to find in the EN voice lines. And while Denise Moreno managed to make me believe I was hearing an immortal speak, I couldn't feel her closeness to neither her siblings nor the Doctor. Big Sis Link goes missing into the 3rd spot of this list.
Dance, music, both soothe the soul, twin arts calling on us to focus and follow. But at times, too great a fixation can be our undoing. Such stories were already far too plenty where I formerly lived. Even I am no exception to the rule. Here you are once more. Please, sit. Be reassured that I will not drive you out. So, what's the matter this time? Could Hibiscus have made another healthy meal? Or is Sidaroka bound to whisk you away for training again?
If Phantom is the glorious start born to be in the stage, Shalem is the one who fell out of love for it. You can hear he has a certain closeness with his art, yet at the same time, you can also feel fear and regret for it, as if something is lurking just beneath the surface, something frightening, yet enticing. You know there's a lot of pain and suffering behind his calm voice, and despite knowing it will be dangerous, you want to know more.
Surely your skulls would be mesmerizing to see, right?
Needless to say, I really like this performance. Kudos to Chase Brown for managing to give Phantom a fitting companion as third place of this list.
If you're out of touch with reality, you'll end up crushed beneath its boot sooner or later. You think that's common frickin' sense, but some of my siblings ignore reality for what it is. Their dull lives are only gonna get harder for them as time goes on. Your dreams turn to haze when you've lived as long as I have. But I've got better stuff to do than dream all day, and that's why I feel so alive. Sure, life is suffering, but seeing people carve something out for themselves is incredible. And as for you, think you got what it takes to be the anvil to my hammer?
It was really hard separating her from Aoyuki. Like, have you heard her range? This one.
うちのこと気になるなら、ほれ、いつでもかまへんよ。
And this one. Are both voiced by her. However, I managed to keep her voice away from my analysis. And still, I didn't like what I hear. It is not Exia levels of Mistuned, but there is something that doesn't click. Nian's whole deal is going from easygoing to mysterious to friendly to intangible to mundane to immortal in the blink of an eye. Yet Akira Lee Watanabe makes her sound only easygoing with very loose hints to her immortality. Something that I thought when listening to her was, damn, she will sound perfectly voiced by Windy Malik.
Is that supposed to be me? Dang, I look great.
Back on topic. This one, an ancient deity, is not.
Why are all the lights on at this hour? Oh, Doctor. Are you still processing battle records? Well, I never thought you were such a workaholic. I'm impressed. But you'd better turn in sooner. It's not worth it to break your body doing it. Everyone's chasing fame and profit. But after so many winning and losing, how many people get to end up as what they like? Living a decent little life of your own is sometimes a lot to ask for. What are we all doom and gloom for? I'll go stir-fry something up. So you wait for me, Doctor. A drink together would be even better, don't you think?
I feel sorry for Joseph May. I mean, he's going after Shin Ishiro Miki. A very tough act to follow. Well, let's get this over with and give this poor guy a place. And that's me, ignoring what I was missing when I was about to hear this Ian voice. The next thing I noticed was that I was smiling wide and almost laughing. So yeah, great job from Thomas part. Regarding the voice work itself, I could feel this sly attitude and street smarts in every line. If anything, for some reason, I couldn't stop seeing Lee as some back alley cowboy. Now that I think about it, he does seem to be inspired by a certain cowboy show. Only his own show will tell. For now, I feel really happy to have heard his voice lines and gladly give him the second place. Sadly, I cannot give him first solely because of that last bit I mentioned. While funny, that is not part of this character. He is no space cowboy, so it makes him lose the top if only for a millimeter. But regardless, we have a list to finish and winners to present. So let's start. The top Mistuned voice of this second batch is...
I took the time to partake of some contemporary works. Films are not bad. They are like paintings. The good ones all have a unique strength of character, with form and with decent meaning. Right, poetry and painting have a legacy. Do you have time to help me burn Nian's mountain of garbage? She is denigrating the very concept of cinema. Please? I'm not going out. Don't try to make me go out. I don't want to go out. I no longer care for the world outside. Do I dislike it? I like it fine. The mountains and rivers,
The flowers and feathers, the pools and forests, the common folk, young and old. I could paint forever. I could watch forever. And yet, I will not go. It does not hold my interest forever.
She sounds very, very, very annoyed. That is part of her personality, but not the only one. There is supposed to be this nostalgia about her past and respect towards the world. While the original sounds like an artist with a bit of a hikikomori streak, Ian Dusk sounds like a pampered idol who is trying to live from old glories. This is a similar case as with Platinum in the previous list, where the focus was too much in a single aspect of the character, which in turn left her a bit short, in my opinion. So while I felt a great feeling of accomplishment when getting her to join my roads, I'm afraid that doesn't save Eileen Maitland from landing at the top spot on the Mistuned list. But as before, let us not delay any further with sad things. Let's go and enjoy what I believe is the best voice from this batch. Though by order of elimination, some of you might have already guessed it. Nevertheless, the number one best English voice from the second batch, is...
Your hair is close to coming out of your hood. If you've got the time, remember to give it a trim. My arts are... how do I put it? They affect a lot of things. But because they don't have a form, it's hard to grasp them properly. If I can get a handle on their nature someday, I might be able to live a normal life. I've got this. Okay, how's that? Are there any bits you want fixed? None? I thought as much. You wanna touch my ears? Of course. Touch them however you want. But people usually only do it a tiny bit. Why? You'll find out if you try, won't you?
Okay, I didn't manage to get her, so I had to go looking for her voice lines. A huge shout out to River B. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. You know what was the part I found it more interesting in Golden Glow's character? How her theme of static electricity fits her a lot more than those before her. We saw how she keeps repressing herself again and again until she reaches a boiling point and then lets loose. Her voice in the end makes me feel that exactly. I can feel how afraid she is of discharging, of hurting others. But also I can feel her eagerness to continue with her life. Because of the event, we know she can hit very, very dangerous places emotionally. Luckily, a certain kitty happened to pass by and distract her from said thoughts. And while there doesn't seem to be any traces of those ideas in her voice lines, it's such a good work. I wouldn't be surprised if she would suddenly go for the depressive route once more. I think this one is a fantastic voice work from Heather Nicole, and a great addition for those who love English voice acting. Not to mention the winner of the first spot for the best Ian voices in Arknights. And with that we are done with the second batch of voices. Personally, I feel the developers learned from their previous mistakes and took great effort to improve in what they could. Though, a perfect job this is not, but the fact they keep improving is what is important. Heck, it was such an improvement I only had 4 Mistuned. Cut them some slack, how will you express immortality? There is a reason they choose such big names to voice the three siblings in JP. But I digress. This is what I think, but my opinions is in no way law. If you like any of the voices I didn't, you are in your absolute right. If anything, be sure to share why you believe I am wrong in the commentaries down below. Who knows, maybe you might manage to change my thoughts. For now, this has been Dr. Blob, wishing you all a great day. Thanking you for your time and humbly asking you to like, share and subscribe, so I can get to meet even more awesome people. Until next time, stay healthy everyone.